You'll notice that the bottoms of the wetlands are covered with organic soils, and that's because we want to establish vegetation in there and also keep the clay layer covered so we keep clear water. That thin layer of organic soils will be planting in emergent vegetation that will be growing in the water that will help clean that water. The idea is as water flows through the wetland, it has residence time. The nutrients, the plants will be taking up some of the nutrients, plus as the plants die and the dead material sits in the bottom, they start actually doing the chemical process of changing nitrogen to nitrous oxide and using the chemical pathways to help reduce the nitrogen out of the water. The water will flow into this wetland from this small stream here and the spring over here, and it'll flow through a series of 4 cells that we've tried to make to look very natural, like a natural wetland would, but because of the gradient we had to put 4 cells in, and it'll go into the 4 cells and zigzag between the cells, because then we're maximizing the amount of time that the water is in each wetland and making sure the water goes through the emergent vegetation pathways, and we get that removal of nutrients, and it'll eventually flow back into the stream. This is one of 3 wetlands that are being built on this catchment right now, and they'll be treating nutrients as the water comes off the land and down through the stream as we go down and end up at the ocean. When you're planting your wetland, it's best to use locally sourced seed that are grown locally in the water regime that you're planting in. With wetland plants that grow in wetlands, it's not as critical because waterfowl and water birds move those seeds around, so the bigger area you can use for those for the water plants, your emergent vegetation and some of your sedges and stuff. As you go to the buffer your wetland where you're planting your native trees and stuff, it's better to get those locally sourced. It's very important when you talk to your nursery to ask if the seeds are locally sourced, because some of your bigger nurseries don't always locally source it. And the Regional Council, Department of Conservation, New Zealand Land Care Trust representatives can also help you put a plan together on what to plant where, and also give you a little bit of costing and what your spacings are for different types of plants.